Excuses are best for those who use them. Anonymous. I'm saying that because there are a lot of rumors that are flying around about the Supreme Court judgment. And some of these rumors, I think, are quite absurd. So, for people who followed the process up to its conclusion, to also discredit and also cast aspersion on the character or integrity of the judges, I do find that to be very, very absurd. And therefore, I decided to do this video to debunk a few issues that would require us to go back to the root itself. What were the issues raised by the Supreme Court? And was there evidence from Azimio side to support the allegations? How are issues framed by the court? So before we go into that discussion, I urge you to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we post these videos. So on to our topic of today. Let me start by just addressing the issue of framing of issues. Parties come to court making various allegations, accusations, and counter-accusations. So that is common. Actually, that is the basis of a course of action. Somebody accusing the other and the other responding by making further allegations or denying those allegations. So based on such accusations and denials and counter-accusations, the court can frame issues, pick what is the point of contention, and frame issues. So in this particular one, they picked 9 issues. So just for refreshing your memory, let me just read them for you. The one was where the technology deployed by IEBC for the conduct of the 22 general election met the standards of integrity, verifiability, security, and transparency to guarantee accurate and verifiable results. Then 2, whether there was interference with uploading and transmission of Form 34A from the polling station to the IEBC portal. 3, whether there was difference between Form 34A uploaded on the IEBC public portal and the Form 34A received at the National Tallying Center and Form 34A issued to the agents at the polling station. Then 4, whether postponement of gubernatorial elections in Kakamega, Mombasa, and Mombasa counties, parliamentary elections in Kitui Rural, Kacheliba, Rongai, and Pokot South constituencies, and the electoral wards in Nyaki and Kwanjenga resulted into voter suppression to the detriment of the petitioners. 5, whether there were unexplainable discrepancy between the votes cast for the presidential candidate and the other elected positions. Then whether the IEBC carried out verification, tallying, and declaration of results in accordance with Article 138(3)(c) and 138(10) of the Constitution. Then 7, whether the declared presidential elect attained 50+1 of the votes cast in accordance with Article 138(4) of the Constitution. 8, whether there were irregularities and illegalities of such magnitude as to affect the final results of the presidential elections. And then 9, what reliefs and orders can the court grant or issue? So, if you look at those issues, or as a friend, then there is something which must come to your mind. The number 1 issue, number 2, number 3 are very critical issues. Very critical issues. And what answers those 3 questions? What answers all these issues is the scrutiny report. Because allegations were made first and foremost with respect to issue number 1, that the technology deployed did not meet the standards of integrity. How do you prove that in court? You prove that by saying or proving that indeed there was some breach. Somebody somewhere accessed those servers. An unauthorized person accessed those servers, and not only accessed but also interfered with the results. So if you look at the scrutiny report, that is not there. In fact, when the scrutiny report came out, it was clear the issue number 1 was going to be answered in the affirmative, that technology met the standards of integrity, verifiability, security, and transparency. So what did Azimio fail to do? They just failed to prove their allegation. When you put, what some people do not understand is, a petition carries allegations. Those allegations can be so sweet to read. If you read them, you feel we have a case. But they require proof. Without proof, they remain allegations. Allegations become factual upon proof. And that is why the court said, okay, for us to find the truth, that is called fact-finding, then let us order for the scrutiny of the technology itself. Can you find, as they allege, that somebody indeed accessed? The answer came back, no, nobody accessed. Another thing, issue number 2, interference with uploading. That again goes to the issue of technology, the security bit of it. It came out clear from the report. And I'm saying this because judiciary was an arbiter. So the report was occasioned by the judiciary so that it could help itself to understand the process, whether it was verifiable, whether it was transparent, and whether it is an accountable process. So the issue number 2, there was no evidence of interference with uploading. So what was there, however, was sensationalized allegations coming from the Commissioner Nyang'aya and others. And we did a video about the scrutiny report and how it was going to benefit Dr. Ruto about this issue. You do need to watch that video so that you can understand the scope of scrutiny report and its importance to court when determining issues of election petitions rather. And then whether there was a difference between Form 34As uploaded and in the public portal and received at the National Tallying Center and those given to agents. How were they to do this? Just by checking the actual forms that was given to agent. Is it the actual form that was used to declare the presidential result at the polling station? So I've talked about these forms, that these forms are very unique. These forms have 8 security features. In fact, ours is the most secure form of transmitting or presidential result in the whole world. 8 security features. It is such that when at the polling station the presiding officer decides that let us change the figures in this form, because this form, maybe it is destroyed, and then you decide with the people around you that this form is destroyed. Let us put in the actual figures as they were, sign, and then let us take this to National Tallying Center. at that stage, they will know that this is not the form that was used to declare the results, because the one uploaded will have different security features with the one you have brought. It may contain the same result, but there are different forms. So when this happened, they found that the forms were actually not different. There was no way the Supreme Court could go against. In fact, hope was dwindling, and you could see it when Form 34As matched. More importantly, is that the forms, the matching of those forms was not enough. They went into actual counting of the votes. And how this is what happened. Petitioners said, in this particular area, they took my votes and gave him to my competitor. Then court said, fine, let us go to those areas you allege your votes were taken away and given to your competitor. And they were counted in the open. And all of them matched. The votes, ballots that were inside, one by one counted, it showed there was not a single one. So what was the hope? What were they hanging on? What was Azimio really hanging on? Azimio was hanging on the Constitution. And again, we did a video about this. Why the Supreme Court may nullify a presidential election. And that video is purely based on the Constitution, not the numbers, but the Constitution. And I believe in that video, we're also making, we say that we would really want to see how the court would deal with the scrutiny report when it finally decides to say if it had said that the election was not conducted as per the Constitution. So, allegations and number 6, point of verification. Again, we raised these issues when we were discussing about the conduct of the 4 commissioners. At what point did they decide, okay, this is now opaque, we cannot deal with it, we're moving forward? We're now going to say, 1 hour to, which the Supreme Court described as 11th hour. So there was no way, I think, that the Supreme Court was going to help the petitioner, even if they wanted to. The evidence that was there pointed to a verifiable and a transparent election. The people who are now spreading this kind of rumors are really doing a great disservice to this nation and to others who do not know the truth or could not understand the processes of court. We need to be very truthful with our people, because then it helps you heal without holding deep inside the animosity. This animosity, thinking that, Supreme Court judges were bribed. My dear listeners, if you are a true Kenyan, I urge you, I supported Azimio and I still support them. But if you are a true Kenyan, do not sell that kind of message to anybody that the Supreme Court judges were bribed or all those kind of nonsense. Do not sell them. The Supreme Court did its work based on evidence. Azimio did not just present any evidence. They went there fishing for evidence and wanted to use Supreme Court as part of their political game plan. That failed. So what is the future? That is the question we must ask ourselves. What is the future? How can we ensure that the presidency of Ruto delivers on his promises? We must look for ways to hold it to account and to ensure that every single promise he made, we take it to his door and demand that he accomplishes them, beginning with the one he described as the easiest one, increasing the allocation to counties to 35%. So if I were in parliament as an Azimio MP, the first thing I would do is to table legislation demanding an increase and see how they will deal with it, because they said it was easy. So you trap them, play politics by using their own manifesto to their face. Of course, they will do what? They will not accept it because it's coming from the opposition benches. But that is the game. Political game requires you to be very smart. So if you are still there sitting thinking you are, or the elections were stolen, or Ruto did bribe whoever, you are living in the past. That is now history. Let us forge ahead. Look at how we can take this country forward. Thank you for watching. We again remind you, kindly subscribe, leave a like, and share our videos. Also do comment on what kind of contents maybe you would wish us to do, or topics you'd want us to address. Thank you.